Welcome to IC Tech Reviews. Today we're going to be unboxing the ROG Strix XG27ACDNG. If at any point during the video you want to check out this exact same monitor, there's Amazon links below for the US, UK, Canada, and international links, but let's get this unboxed. All right, so this is using the QD-OLED panel from Samsung. This is the same panel as the Alienware AW2725DF. And so I'm assuming the majority of it will probably be the same. However, at least the list price, this one is $100 cheaper. However, these monitors pretty typically go on sale. And also, honestly, I'm not sure if there is gonna be anything different to make one of them better or worse. So let's get right into this. This is the bottom of the stand, which I believe should have a phone holder in it, which is kind of cool. All right, so the stand here, very Asus-y here, which is fine if that's what you're into. Metal covered in plastic on the bottom and the top. Tons of rubber around here. However, this plastic, honestly, does not feel quite as nice as the Alienware, but I guess it is $100 cheaper. So, well, maybe, depending on sales. This is the phone holder, and this is my Pro Max with a case on it. Oh, and it fits. Now that's surprising. I did not expect a Pro Max with a case to fit. That's pretty cool. Okay, also we have this bag here, which is very interesting. And I'm assuming, okay, this has a nice microfiber cleaning cloth, which is important for those glossy finishes. This has the power cable. This does have an internal power supply, so you do not need a power brick, which is really nice. So as you can see, this is just standard stuff and it's really easy to replace. Also in this bag, we've got quite a lot. We've got an HDMI 2.1, we've got a DisplayPort cable, a USB Type-C to USB Type-C, and then we've got a USB Type-A to USB Type-B, and some manuals, stickers, and paperwork. Now here, I'm not sure exactly what this is. Is this like a VESA mounting bracket? That's what I'm assuming this is. Yeah, that's what it looks like. VESA mounting bracket looks like a 100mm VESA mount, and I'm not sure if this is a clip-in. It kind of looks like it may be a clip-in. We'll have to see. All right, lifting this up, let's get to the monitor and the top part of the stand. Here is the top part of the stand. Taking this out, we got ROG and like a mirror finish on the back. Pretty standard cable pass-through. It's plastic. There is a ton of metal inside and it does feel good. It looks pretty good. We also have a mount on top. There is rubber. I guess that's for like a camera or a light or something. That is very cool. We saw that on a Corsair panel. Okay, to screw these together, metal on metal, line them up, and then you have a high quality thumb screw here, so you can just use your fingers to screw that in. Once it's screwed in, it looks pretty average. The plastics finish is just like normal. We do have a little Republic of Gamers badge right there, which is nice, but honestly, this plastic feels really cheap, especially when compared to Alienware. But again, you guys know, I don't really care that much. It's the panel that I care about, so let's get to that. All right, so the back of it, you have that really cool looking ROG thing, and I do think, we're just gonna try this out really quick. It does look like this is like a clip-in piece that goes top first. Yeah, okay, that is phenomenal. That's really cool. That's how you put the base mount bracket in. And then you push this thing and it comes out. So you can see line on the top, press it in, and it's in there. Pull that thing and it comes out. Really nice. Hilarious they put a Republic of Gamers like logo right there, even though it's gonna be covered by your monitor arm or whatever you're using, but yeah, that's nice attention to detail. But it's even strange because this plastic right here, this like nice gray plastic, it feels like a higher quality plastic than this finish, which is strange. Like this one kind of looks more metally. Why didn't they just do that there? But I don't know. Still, again, 1000% nitpicking. Let's get this thing together, line it up with the top, press it in, and she's locked in. Now, I'm not actually sure, but I believe like the heat dissipation, the heat sinks are different between the two, but there's a lot going on here, so let's check it out. Firstly, the back of this looks absolutely epic. It looks definitely cooler than the LG. This stand part is fine, but it's the monitor. I mean, look at this. The way that it has, it kind of looks like a Lambo. You have, it looks like actually functional heating vents right here, which is pretty crazy. You have cooling on the top as well. You have some small vents up there, but these through here, it just looks awesome. It looks like a supercar. This thing feels like it's absolutely built like a tank. This piece back here is a solid piece of what I'm like 95% sure is metal. Yeah, this is definitely metal. So this whole piece right here is metal. Then we've got more, looks like functional venting right here. We've got a little badge 206 on the top, but look at how it's just like, I don't know, it just has like all these indentations. If you're looking at the back of your monitor, this is one of the coolest that you're gonna find. It also has this peel right here, which this all lights up and it looks so sick. You've also got like a band right here that's more of like a mirror finish, and this is kind of like matte, so awesome, guys. If you're like a streamer, you have this on camera, or you have one of those desks where it's in the middle of the room and you are looking at the back, this looks pretty cool. I'm gonna dog it on the stand a little bit, but the back of this monitor looks absolutely awesome. Also underneath, we have this little bump down, which looks really cool. Probably look even cooler from the front, which we have the joystick for navigation of your OSD, and then we have 2 buttons on either side. Looks like that's gonna work pretty well. And then for ports under here, we have your power, 3 USB Type A's here, a USB Type B upstream. On the other side, we have 2 HDMI's, which I believe are both 2.1s, and then we have a display port and a USB Type-C with 90 watts of charging, which is also display, and then a 3.5 millimeter audio out. The other cool thing that I just noticed is we have these little things here, like power is to this one. So I already know this one is power. The other one is called key, and then navi, like navigation. That's just really cool. They didn't need to do that, and no one's really gonna look at the back of their monitor to find out the instructions, but it's just those little attention to details which kind of feel special. I do like that about ROG. But let's get this turned around, guys. Because this is a QD-OLED, it's using a glossy finish. Let's get this off. That is very satisfying. And it's also nice they pack it with that. And there's that beautiful glossy film looking absolutely phenomenal. Now again, this doesn't have the polarization layer, so if you want to get the deepest blacks possible, you're gonna have to be in a dimmer or dark room. There's also this little Asus badge here, which I assume will light up. Pulling that off. I gotta say, guys, not a huge fan of the stand. I actually do really like this phone holder because it fits a Pro Max with a case, and that's very rare. Even most cars, like things like that, they don't fit the Pro Max. That's annoying, even in 2024. This fits a Pro Max. Let's test it. Let's put it in there. Hey, not the camera side. I don't know what I'm thinking. There we go, guys. It fully fits there. Let's go over the stand functionality. We've got a phenomenal amount of swivel. I can dog on how the stand looks and the exterior material choices, but that is a really good amount of swivel. Also, the mechanisms and feelings are incredibly smooth. This swivel thing down here is extremely smooth. What about height? Height is really, look at that, that's solid. Really good amount of height. I like that it gets really low to the desk. You also have full rotation. Got to pull it out a little bit. Full rotation. Wow, that looks really good. All right, with that, I'm excited. Let's get it set up. We're gonna do an initial impressions gaming test and a ghosting test. Y'all already know what it is. Let's do it. All right, guys, with it on the desk, first thing, cable management, not my favorite. It goes too low. As you can see, this cable is hanging down. It's not super easy to just push up there and out of the way. And if it's fully extended up, that looks awful. With that, let's turn this thing on. I believe it's this button because of that graphic around the back. There's like 2 buttons that are very easy to feel, and then a joystick in the middle, which is also super accessible because of this little thing that comes down, which is great. So let's click that on. There we go, Republic of Gamers, super vibrant red. It's obviously an OLED. All right, with it up on the screen, this just came up. I guess let's go yes. This lights up. Should we see if the back lights up? Oh, that's so cool. Yeah, that looks absolutely awesome. It's not actually gonna light up the back of your wall if that's what you're hoping for. Don't hope for it, but it looks so good if you have a monitor where you're gonna see the back of it. So sick, really is sick. Okay, so that button is your power off and it asks you beforehand. The button on the other side puts you into your inputs, which I'm sure you'll be able to change that. Then clicking just the joystick in puts you in here. Fairly attractive, I like how they have this here. Right now we're at 60 Hertz, which I could easily tell as this is very slow, but we're gonna turn this up. We have a few different settings here in the gaming menu, like FPS counter, crosshair, sniper, which I think is like a zoom in, very interesting, timers, stopwatch, display alignment, very cool. And we've got a lot of modes here. That is absolutely insanely overdone. Racing mode is what it can't come in standard, which is interesting. All of these modes are crazy. That is weird, like not in a good way. They're just like way wonked out. I don't know what the heck is going on. Is that how they're supposed to come? Like it's everything is so ridiculously overboosted like I've never seen on like any monitor. That's crazy. We're gonna leave it, we're gonna see the difference between racing mode because that's what it looked like it came in, and user mode. We're gonna leave it in user. Shadow boost, we have it off. That's so freaking weird. Maybe that's an HDR thing. I don't know. Brightness, we're gonna turn this all the way up to 100%. These QD OLEDs have a really decent amount of brightness. They're not like crazy bright, but obviously because of not having a matte finish, you get better clarity and stuff like text and whites and the highlights. Even though it does have lower brightness, overall, those highlights do make it seem like it is a much brighter monitor. We also have uniform brightness, which is interesting. If we turn that on, the overall brightness goes significantly down, which is very interesting. We have OLED anti-flicker. That's pretty cool. I didn't have any flickering problems with this panel on the Alienware, so I'm not gonna turn that on, but that's definitely something to look for in the review, which is very interesting. Again, my reviews will be coming in a few days. We also have Vivid Pixel, which I'm not sure exactly what that is. Maybe that's to counteract the text clarity issues, but even on these new OLED panels, it's actually very, very good, even on the 1440ps. We have DCI-P and sRGB locking modes, which is very cool. We have color temperatures, and it's actually using kelvins there. It's in user. Can we go to a 6500 Kelvin target? And it doesn't seem to change it almost at all, which is a very good thing. That means they know that they should be at a 6500 Kelvin target. Not sure if that's actually accurate or not yet, but 2.2 gamma. We have OLED care, a bunch of stuff with OLED care. A lot of stuff here, boundary detection, outer dimming control, global dimming control. You have input selection, you can turn off auto input, picture in picture, picture by picture. That's pretty cool. You have the lighting effect right there. Set it in rainbow or whatever you want, that's nice. There's a lot of settings here and they're pretty easy to get to. I do like this menu system. All right, and that's pretty much it with the menu system. Let's go here into first our display settings, set this all the way up to its full 360 hertz. Now that's the other thing, and I talked about this in the review of the Alienware. LG also makes OLEDs. They have super thick matte finishes, so if you're after beauty, QD-OLEDs are pretty much only where it's at this point in time. And the LG version for the same price, 1440, 27 inches, is doing 240 hertz. This is doing 360. This is the obvious choice, and it's the same price, if not cheaper. All right, but let's go into NVIDIA control panel. So you can see here, 2560, 360 hertz. Let's see if this can output 10 bits of color, and it can, as I expected. But with that, let's jump in game and see how this thing does. All right, guys, jumping right in game in Black Ops 6. I mean, right away, image looks phenomenal. QD-OLEDs are awesome, dude. The reds here look absolutely stunning. I mean, just beautiful in here with all the colors. It looks absolutely stunning. Now, every time I do this, when I do a QD-OLED, I talk about the difference between the LGs. I'm gonna try not to do that as much here because you guys probably have already heard it if you see my other videos. But if you want beauty of a panel, just know that the QD-OLEDs are where it's at over the LGs. Not saying that they're not worth it, but that the LG is definitely more about speed without beauty and image quality. But this just looks absolutely beautiful. The sun up there, it's nice and bright. We did dim the room because that's how you get the deepest blacks here. I mean, the highlights here look really bright, and then the reds, and especially in this room, it looks absolutely crazy, guys. It's fast, 360 hertz. I know that we are not doing 360 hertz right now, but for the video, let's go and drop all the graphics down to the lowest quality so that we get the maximum amount of frames here and fully test this 360 hertz on the monitor. I mean, the motion clarity is fantastic. This is an OLED. And while I have talked about the difference between ghosting on an OLED and this is not quite as intense as everyone will say it is, like on OLEDs versus IPS panels, it's not to the degree that a lot of the reviewers say it is absolutely true, but that still makes OLEDs one of the best, and it absolutely is that, especially with 360 hertz, guys. And the price of this monitor, it's such an amazing value. That might be ridiculous to say, but the image quality that you get, the fact that you're getting 360 hertz, and yes, it's 1440p, but this is the most beautiful 1440p monitor probably on sale. The fact that you can get this, especially on sale, it's Black Friday right now, so it is on sale a few $100. The fact that you can get this for that price, which I think is like $700-ish. Check the links below if it is Black Friday for you guys, but these do pretty consistently go on sale, at least a few $100. So yeah, I think the reds here look phenomenal. I mean, really, those reds look amazing. OLEDs obviously do reds and greens quite well. But yeah, guys, there is really nothing like a QD-OLED right now. Really, there's nothing else to say about it. It's beautiful. This really is a fantastic monitor. Just initially from my impressions, obviously I'm gonna have to look back on all my notes from the Alienware, but really pretty much the same panel. If I was gonna choose one, I like the look of the Alienware more from a front perspective. Just talking about the stand here, cable management's better. It looks better and feels better on the stand. However, from the back, this one looks absolutely ridiculously awesome. However, if you have a white setup, the Alienware is gonna be it, obviously. But again, if really what you're looking for is the panel, I would just look at which one's cheaper. I'll actually link both below in the review, and I might be doing a back-to-back comparison just to see if there's any small differences between the two. But right now, let's test ghosting. And we did actually forget to go over text clarity clarity. So let's just go over that super fast. Okay, so we have some text here. This is 11, 12, 14, 18, I believe. This one's 22, and then 36. We have varying levels here, with this one being the smallest. Now, obviously 11, you're not even gonna see 11 most of the time. It'll probably be 12 with the smallest. But at the smallest, it's so much better than it used to be. It's still readable from an average viewing distance. On the biggest one is actually where you see the most like separation of those green and reds, but really it's very good and better than the WOLEDs from LG by far, like not even the same thing. This is also significantly better than like the first generation of these QD-OLEDs from Samsung. Far better. Really, to me, it's a non-issue. If you do get the 4K model, which is the 32-inch 4K, those, like, you literally don't even notice it. That's what I daily drive. But here, I would say it's a non-issue. Let's go over ghosting. All right, and here's ghosting. It is absolutely perfectly crystal clear, not even a small amount of anything, but that's normal. Let me just take the camera so I can show you guys what I'm seeing, and that is what it looks like. Absolutely perfectly crystal clear. But again, guys, if you want to check this exact same monitor out, there's Amazon links below. If it is still Black Friday, I urge you to check that out because there are sales going on. I will also link below the Alienware just in case you want to check the price differences, because again, it really doesn't matter. That might change with the review, but I don't think so. But this is Type C Tech Reviews, and I'll see you guys in the next video.